guys! So we have an interesting video today. I'm gonna do another kind of DIY how-to make kind of thing on this display box that I made my best friend for her birthday. And if you can tell by the list that's on screen, it's Pokemon themed, which is so much fun. We actually, at my work one day, decided that we wanted to make a list of all of our favorite Pokemon cards all of our favorite Pokemon by type. And when we were doing that, it was before her birthday, and I had the idea that it would be so cool to make her like a shadow box display, getting all of her favorite Pokemon cards from her favorite Pokemon per genre and putting them in on display. If that makes any sense, you'll see better at the end when I like show you what it looks like. It's kind of hard to describe, but that's what these are right here. So I took the list that we made, I kind of like hijacked it from my work. Thankfully, no one noticed it was gone for a couple of days. And I went on eBay and I ordered all of the cards, like one card per each Pokemon that was her favorite. And of course, it was one Pokemon per genre. Now, as far as the Pokemon cards went, not all of them I could find in English versions in holographic, which was a really big deal to me to be able to get them in holographic versions, because I thought it would just make the display way more kind of visually interesting, especially when it's hanging on the wall, because they'll all be shining and sparkling in their own different ways, because holographic Pokemon cards, they kind of do in different ways, like it'll be striped or sparkly depending on the Pokemon or the type. And she has some interesting favorites. Like Butterfree is very rarely ever made in a holographic card. That was one of the hardest ones to find. Some of them are a little expensive, like Charizard holographics are, they're really pricey. So keep that in mind. You could always make one of these though with like generic ones that aren't holographic. Or if you've been collecting for a while, you'll already have a lot of them on hand, so you would only need to get a couple anyways. So what I did was I went to Michael's and I got one of these shadow boxes, and you can generally find one of these. They have like anywhere from like 40 to 50% off coupons on these almost all the time, or they're like on sale, so you can't use like a regular, like they normally do like coupon that's like anywhere from 40 to 50% off a regularly priced item, which you could use on this, or this will be on sale in itself for 40% off anyways. So it doesn't really matter. You get the same discount. But I picked one of these up for about $25, the shadow box. And the other thing that I got was the little Scotch tape fasteners. They're like, what is it called? Velcro. So they're like Velcro pieces, which I wanted to do something that's kind of temporary. Like I didn't want to glue them on, because if her Pokemon favorites change, if they release new Pokemons with the new games that come out, and she decides, that Charizard's no longer her favorite fire type, she likes this new Pokemon as a fire type, I wanted her to be able to easily switch them out if her favorites changed. And I wanted her to be able to change it up at any time. So I wanted to do something temporary, which is where the Velcro came in handy. So referencing the list, let's get into what we're looking at. Referencing the list, I laid out all the Pokemon cards on the mat kind of in the general way that I wanted them to look. And then referencing the list, I wanted to put them in the order of how we had done it at work. So starting with the normal type, we just kind of went one by one. I wanted to do rows of 3, and then we just went all the way down. So starting one by one, we had the normal type at the bottom, and then I kind of just played the matching game with the list to put them in the right order. I got tripped up a couple of times. Like I said, not all of these are English cards. A couple of them are Japanese. I think one of them is Italian. So for the Pokemon that, I'm not as familiar with, because I don't necessarily use them when I play the games or am that familiar with what they look like, it was a little more difficult. 2 specifically were tripping me up, and they were going right underneath each other. So I was like, I have to figure these out. Of course, they were both Japanese versions, so I couldn't just match the name to the name. So I kind of had to match the type to the type. So I had to look at there's like a little circle that has the type on it in the corner of the card. So like referencing the list, I'm like, okay, this Pokemon is a dark type, find the dark type necessarily. Like I would have to do that. And so I figured it out in the end, but it got a little hairy there for a second. I was kind of worried. I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna be able to do this. especially because I couldn't look it up on my phone because I film on my phone. So I was like, how are we gonna do this? So yeah, I figured it out in the end. We're all good. So then I just kind of fix them a little bit once they're all in the correct order, lining them back up to make sure like the spacing is even and they look the way that I want to look. And then I'll go through with the little sticky adhesives to make sure, to like put them on to make sure that they'll stay. So all in all, if you wanted to make one of these and you kind of were starting from scratch like I was, because I have Pokemon cards, but I didn't have her favorites in Pokemon cards, definitely not in holographics, which was a really big deal to me. So I had to buy all of them on eBay. Now, it's not as difficult. Like, it's really easy to find the cards on eBay. Finding holographic versions of them is not the easiest, but you can do it. The price kind of goes up a lot when it comes to holographics. So I got all of her favorite Pokemon cards for around $100. I mean, that's for like 18 cards. So that's not bad. Some of them are cheaper than others. Most of them you can get for a couple of dollars, anywhere from like $3 to like $6 a piece, which is fine. Some of them are a little more pricey. The Butterfree was kind of hard to find in a holographic because Butterfree is very rarely made in holographic. Espeon was the worst, and then the Charizard was pretty pricey. It was about $20 for that card. But all in all, it wasn't too bad. I did have a little bit of drama with some eBay sellers. Like the first Espeon card I ordered was the exact same card that I use, except not in holographic, even though the seller stated multiple times that it was the holographic version. And then the Butterfree card, I ordered a Butterfree that was holographic, and it just never showed up. And I contacted the seller, never got a response. Contacted eBay, they contacted the seller, never got a response. I was like, what is happening? I just need this card. I was like panicking. It was a week and a half before her birthday, and I was like, what am I gonna do? Thankfully, I found another holographic Butterfree that was actually cheaper, and it got here in 2 days. And I was like, okay, I don't know what was happening there, but we're gonna go with it. So the thing that I did with the sticky backs to kind of make it the easiest was once I got the order and like the layout that I wanted, I went through and picked up each card and put the sticky back that was going to be adhered to the back of the shadow box down first to make sure all the cards stayed where they needed to be. And then I went through with the opposite end and actually stuck it to the card and then stuck the card down to the mat to adhere it. I threw all of this confetti on the ground because I was like, this will make a really cute like backdrop while I'm filming this, right? But then the problem became it kept getting stuck to the part of the shadow box. It kept getting stuck to me. It was all over my legs. It was all over my feet, my hands. I was like, this is such a hot mess and so much more work than it needed to be. Good job, me. So there's always that. I really want to make one of these myself, like with my favorite Pokemon. And I kind of want to do it obviously in like my aesthetic, the things that I'm more drawn to. So I want to like wrap the back of the shadow box with some really fun wrapping paper, maybe that's like confetti or something, and then paint the shadow box frame itself white, or maybe like a pastel color, like a pink or a purple or a blue, and then have all of my favorite Pokemon on them. Maybe by type, or maybe just my favorite Pokemon in general. I like a lot of fairy types, but I think it would be really pretty. The only thing that I don't like is that most Pokemon cards are framed in yellow. They've been like that for forever. But it's not all of them. And I'm like, I would rather it be all of them are framed in yellow or none of them are framed in yellow and they're just all framed in their own color. Would be way better. But, you know, whatever. I don't design cards. I just sit here and deal with it. So that's what I'm doing right now, is just sticking the sticky backs to the cards, adhering them down to the Velcro attached to the back of the shadow box. Like I said, just to make it easier in case she ever wants to change it. The Velcro on the back of the shadow box is really easy to remove, and the Velcro on the back of the cards is relatively easy to remove without damaging the card, which is good, so she could still keep the card, but maybe display a different Pokemon as her favorite. So that was good on that one. Everyone I've shown this also wants to make their favorite. I work with this guy who did the list with us, and he collects Pokemon cards, and he has a lot of the ones he's been collecting since he was little. And he went home and he was like, I have most of the cards for my favorites from when I was a kid. I would just need to get a couple of them. So if you're like that, then it'll be really easy for you to make one of these yourself. And it's a really cool like conversation piece to display on like your walls. I've made her a couple of these shadow box displays before for her birthday. One year I made her one that had Game Boy Colors in it, and it was red, yellow, and blue Game Boy Colors, and then underneath it was the corresponding Pokemon games that like match. So you had like Pokemon Ruby, Pokemon Sapphire, and then Pokemon Yellow, I think was what it called. It was the yellow cartridge that had Pikachu on it. So I gave her that display, and then one year for her birthday, I got her a shadow box that's slotted out, and then it has the Pokemon badges in pin form from every region on it. So that was really cool. So yeah, so back to what's actually happening. So I finished doing the adhesive, flipped it over, locked it in on the shadow box, and now we're going to flip it over. I made sure none of the confetti kind of got trapped inside, although I did think it would be kind of cool to put some on the bottom and have it like a snow globe effect, but I didn't want it to distract from the cards themselves, so I ended up not doing that, but it would have been easy because it was getting stuck everywhere. Now, I'm going to wrap it on screen because I thought that would be cute. This wrapping paper I absolutely love, and I actually have a problem when it comes to wrapping paper, especially if I get it at like TJ Maxx or Marshalls or Home Goods, which is where this is from, and I hoard it because normally when you find wrapping paper there, you'll find really cute, unique ones, but you'll only find one tube of it, and you'll never see it again. And so I'll find really cute ones like that, and I will hoard them. I'm not sharing this with nobody. I'll like save it for special events like my mom's birthday or my best friend's birthday, but then I'll like never use it. So I finally took this out. I'd only ever used a small square of it for my mom's birthday, and I was like, I'm finally gonna like use this to where people can see it and see how cute it is. But for quite a long time I was saving it because I kind of wanted to wrap my desk in it because I thought it would look really cute to like Mod Podge it and then put it across the top of my desk, and then I could always have it to look at. I didn't end up doing that. I could still do that. Like I have enough of it that I could do that left over. But we're actually talking about moving, and if we move into a new apartment, I kind of want to replace a lot of my furniture. Like I kind of want to get like an IKEA desk that's a lot nicer than the one that I have right now. The one I have is from Walmart, and I painted it white. So I kind of want to get a new one, and I kind of also want to get like a pink like futon couch to put in like the corner because sitting on the floor to film is way more difficult than I expected, especially for my knees. I don't really have the best knees. I kind of feel older than I am when I talk about it, but I definitely think if we move that I'm going to upgrade some of my furniture, which means I could totally do like a filming room that too, but like a filming room tour maybe. I love when I lift the present up how like all the confetti goes flying everywhere. It's pretty great. So I actually got up and I went to go take the bow off of the present she got me for my birthday because I wasn't as prepared for this as I thought. Not for the wrapping part. I really wanted a big pink bow, but I didn't have one, so I grabbed the one that she had on my gift. And I was like, this is good. It kind of matches. We're fine. We're doing great. So last clip, I just kind of wanted to show a little bit of the final project so you guys could see like the really pretty holographic sheen on most of these. It looks way better when it's actually sitting up, which makes sense because it's going to be hung on a wall. You can see the holographicness way better. Laying down, not so much, but you get the general idea. So, I think that this is a cool little DIY, and that's it for this video, guys. So I will see you in the next one. Bye!